Thank you for that. And so I just want the public to understand that you all have done something that I think changes the whole political landscape of the Virgin Islands, the people's choice. And I that has become something that people have talked about and shared, their successes. And so I want to just ask, where did the people's choice come about?
So, um, in the
22.
the last gubernatorial 2022, the last gubernatorial election, um, we were supporting Oakland Benta. Let
Mhm.
me say this: Benta is a classmate of mine. He's a friend. And when I came back home and started my business, he would just come by and visit.
Mhm.
And then one Saturday evening, like today, he came with a guy and they sat there and he said, this was just before the elections. I'm running for governor. I was for lieutenant governor. I was like, what? I said, sure. Again, just my friend and listening. At that time, I didn't say I'm supporting you. I said, okay, sure. And I was
Mhm.
listening to all the candidates at the time because I don't vote because you're my friend. That's not what
Mhm.
I do. I analyze and understand what is going on, what you're saying, if it's making sense, facts check. And
Mhm.
then I move forward. I don't do it because you're just my friend or my brother or my sister, because this is my life. And
Mhm.
so listening and listening to everybody and realizing, hey, these guys making sense. At the time, the Virgin Island wasn't doing well. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It was hemorrhaging. We didn't reach on life support yet. And then
Mhm.
myself and the same clients, my family here at the center, we started to go out in the morning and pass out pamphlets. And I
Mhm.
got involved deeply because I understand politics. I used to be one of Obama field managers in DC for his. I understand politics, and we started to campaign, and we were out there, and we started to do the grassroots thing, and we didn't have any big money because I don't want to run no camp. I don't want behind no camp that is taking any big money for something. If you
Mhm.
as big money is going to support, you're going to support for the greater good of the community. You
Mhm.
understand? And if you have the community at heart and the greater good is there, all of us will survive. All of us will fit
Mhm.
where we may. And so we started to campaign and we started to campaign and I met Cleo. I knew David again. All of us went to school together. And with Ken and St. Thomas, I started to meet people online from St. Thomas. And I just started to go on the radio and talk about things, just talking about things.
Mhm.
But like I said, I was there before with my organization, the
Mhm.
collective collaboration. And no day I ever tried to commingle both of them. And
Mhm.
so we started with that. And we saw the effects of the election, which we know wasn't fair. And the night
Mhm.
of the result, I said to Cleo and David and Phyllis and the rest of them that was here, I said, this wasn't fair. I said, but election can't end unless the people are satisfied. And we're
Mhm.
not going to end here. We can't. Because we realize what's going on. If it's affected me, if it's affecting you, it's affecting
Mhm.
everybody else. And so we had our sisters and brothers in St. Thomas, and after the election wasn't successful, we regrouped.
Mhm.
We started to say how we gonna go forward. And we said we ain't gonna end here. I remember in St. Thomas came up with the name. We started with the people's choice because whatever choice is being made by the elected official, it's supposed to be the people's choice, not their
Mhm.
choice, the people's choice. You go there to represent the people, not your choice.
Yes.
Because if it was your choice, you should be able to walk into the office yourself. But you have
Mhm.
to beg for the vote of the people, the confidence of the people. So go and do the people work. And we started, it was basically like six of us,
Mhm.
maybe two, three in St. Thomas, three over here, and seven of us. And we just started going and going and going and keep talking. And like Cleo said, her show was about medicine. And I said to Cleo, medicine and politics is one. It was the height
Mhm.
of COVID. And then she asked me to come to the show. And that's where we are today. And making sure that we bring the information to our people that is truthful, that is to the level of their understanding, not the bamboozling and the hyperboreal verbiage that they bring so the common man can't understand. Cleo and I have nothing to lose. We just want a better community. She has her business. I have my business. We're doing well. It's not like we're here for any financial gain. We're here to empower people. We're here to restore national pride. We're here to show the Virgin Islands to be on the map of a place that we have people of good character, moral value, with wit, and a beautiful island that we invite all. We can be part of the movement in the 21st century because we have people that have that kind of character and that wit for us to be competitive with any part of the world. And being a small island as it is, right, and being the U.S. of America, right, doing better than what we're doing here. But the individuals that we have leading, because we live in such small community, even when they're poking out your eye, you're still grappling, you're still grappling at the ones that's advantaging you. And so in the Virgin Islands more, so let's speak about home. I ain't talking about no places through the heart. They've never seen anything like what Cleo and I come with. They've never seen anything like what Cleo and I come with. They've never seen truth like this. And people able to stand up. And everything that we have spoken about has come to pass. So we ain't out here to play no games with nobody's mind, play no games with nobody's life. We out here to talk truth and empower people and allow our people to stand up for their right. You don't worry about Cleo and I. We didn't create bad roads. We didn't create lack of pay. We didn't create bad hospitals, right? We didn't create for the dark at night legislation to pass to deprive the people and empower and financially empower those who depriving us. We didn't do that. We're just trying to bring attention to that. So however we bring the message, how we bring it, because they don't care of how they're providing this service to us. And so our people need to understand that we're not a people of that. We have crime at a record high here in the Virgin Islands. That's not what Cleo and I did. But because we bring the truth, and it hurts. Because in the Virgin Islands, the villain become the victim because they have some title or position like what we're seeing now. And all our leaders has misguided us. The election system has become a selection system. And as long as the people can't go out there and vote, and your vote can't count at the end of the day, this is the result that we will see and continue to see. Because when you go to vote, you want your vote go to who it's supposed to go to. And so when people make decisions for you continuously, this is the result that we will see. Bad life, hard life, thief, and more thief, scandalous, disrespectful governor and leadership. That is what we will see. Because there's no respect to the people of the Virgin Islands because they didn't vote for them. They were selected. And the only person that they honor is those who allow it to happen for them, like Carolyn Fox. That's my take.
Okay. Dr. Peter, do you have anything to add?
Well, and when, like Karen was saying, when we was supporting Oakland Benta, we realized that the election was stolen in the primary, and we continue until the general election. So everybody thought we would go to Kurt Viele and Sorrow, and we said no. We're gonna stand up and we're gonna do a writing campaign. And they thought that was the stupidest idea. And yeah, we're not gonna win, but guess what? We stood up and we're still standing. We're still the team standing. And we told them back then that Viele was a spoiler in the race. It was the same. In other words, one person backing the two people. Okay, they had two horses in the same race, and we keep telling them they're the same people. So when you vote for Kurt or you vote for Brian, you're voting for the same person. And we refused to do that. So we went ahead and do a writing campaign. And then when the election occurred, we end up seeing Kiva May Douglas on camera putting a DS-200 drum drive in her pocket. We see her putting something in her pocket. All right. So right then and there, we went to the days later, we went and we started protesting. One vote, one voice, free election for all. And from since then, November 8, 2022, we have been sending letters. We've been complaining about elections in the Virgin Islands. Votes need to be counted where they cast. It need to be one vote, one voice. Votes need to be counted where they cast. And we've been singing the same melody over and over. So last year when the election, it was people was deciding who is going to run. I decided, you know what? Since I'm on this case with the Board of Election for the past 2 years, what I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to do is I'm just going to jump in the ring. So I jump in the
Mm-hmm.
ring, and I didn't change how I spoke. I spoke the same way, and my motto was votes need to be counted where they cast. If you
Mm-hmm.
cast a vote in Central High, you're supposed to be able to stay in Central High. When it closes at 7 o'clock, they need to count the votes there, and then you're supposed to know who won Central High. All right. The
Mm-hmm.
vote shouldn't be taken out of Central High, bring to a central location, and they tell us a number. Right there, you don't know. Your votes are very, very important. That determines the
Mm-hmm.
destiny of the people, the destiny of the youth, the destiny of the elderly. Whether we have hospitals, whether we our roads are fixed, whether we have education, whether we have agriculture, whether we have WAPA. These are all the issues that election affects. So I feel election is the root of all our problems. So we must pay a keen attention to the Board of Election and the election system, because they determine who it appears that they are selecting instead of people are the ones electing their candidates. So we need to pay attention to what is going on. This last election was a mess. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we have the supervisor of election interfering with the election. These things are serious charges in America, and we should not tolerate this thing here. So, Ms. Dickinson, and my job is to open the eye of the people and make them understand that voting have consequences, and no longer can we just take our head, keep it in the sand, and hope for the best. We have to fight for what we want here in the Virgin Islands, and until we get justice, we will continue fighting for justice here in the Virgin Islands.
Thank you so much for sharing that.